am Deidre Quinn, and welcome to Pending and Trending, a podcast that started in real estate and grew into so much more. Here, we talk about the power of building wealth, creating opportunities, and designing a life that lasts for generations. With expert guests and real conversations, my mission is simple: to help you elevate your journey and build the legacy you deserve. Welcome back to Pending and Trending. Meet your guest today. We have John LeRoy. And I am so happy to be here with you, John. We have so many things to talk about. So we will jump right in and get started. And I just want to really talk about how our industry in the real estate world has changed. And there are certainly more referrals now in this industry than I have ever seen before. And I just want to get your take on that. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think one of the things that's occurred is you have a lot of movement because of people working from home. That's been the biggest shift when you think of our society since COVID, where I'm working from home, you're probably at your home as well. And so that dynamic has created a different environment of where we can live and how we can do life in today's new environment. Technology is changing, and it's affording us the ability to do what we're doing right now, a podcast over the computer, and we're both present. So there's been a technology shift just in our culture. And I think that, in addition to anything else, is, in my mind, the biggest change that's affected referrals. But I think the other piece is, with the economy and with interest rates and with factors that affect whether people relocate or move, you have life events, and you have agents looking now for a way to make a passive income. Really, everybody's looking for a way to make more money and do less work in our country.
Absolutely.
And we know that. And so a referral is really one of the easiest things a real estate agent can do to make what I call mailbox money.
Right. Mailbox money. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So I agree. It's enabled me to be in contact and have conversations with so many high level people doing amazing things like yourself that previously, we wouldn't have done anything on Zoom. You would have to be in person to do all of these things that we do, and a video call and things. So let's really talk about what you have created for the real estate industry. And let's talk about really why that works, right? So let's start with the real estate referrals versus leads and the quality revolution around referrals and why it's so much better for an agent. Let's start with an agent and look from the agent side. Why is it better for an agent to have a referral as opposed to a lead, and what's the difference?
Yeah, great question. I think, in my view, and a referral, the way we use the word referral all the time, is completely different than a lead. Why is it different? A referral usually comes from another agent, where the agent knows that client. They have a personal relationship with them or a prior work history with them, so that they know they have a knowledge of that person. They know why they're moving. It's a job change. It's a second home that they want. So a referral often is vetted. It's vetted and pre-qualified by the originating agent who knows the person, and this person is looking to relocate or acquire a property or needs to sell a property in a market that they can't service. So it's that vetting process, it's that qualification process that defines a referral in our eyes, which is completely different than a lead, which is just data mining, or a lot of people that are flying around Zillow or other platforms clicking on properties because they just want to see it and they want to look at it. But those clicks generate what the industry looks at as a passive interest, and then they pass that information on to agents, and they charge them a lot of money to hand off what they term as leads. And we all know, if you're in the real estate industry, then you call 100 of these leads. If you're really good, you might get, what's the number? 2, 3, 6%, maybe turning into actual clients that you can
Right.
work with. And then, of course, you got to get them to the closing table and everything has to go right there. We're a referral. Our referrals, we see anywhere from 50 to 60% close rates, and that's conservative. Obviously, there's ebbs and flows on a monthly and quarterly basis, but what a huge contrast when you're talking a 60% close rate versus a 2 or 3%. So that's how a
Absolutely.
referral is very different and why it's different, because they're vetted, they're qualified, they're real. And when we see a referral go across our application from an originator to a receiver, the receivers know that are in our network that this is a great opportunity. They engage with that client right away, the speed to lead, because it's a buyer ready to buy or a seller ready to sell.
Yeah. Yeah, and it comes with a certain element of trust, right? A certain element of trust in there that when you refer to somebody, there's already a little bit of that established previously before. Whereas if someone's just picking up the phone, that still has to be worked on, right? So let's talk about that from the client perspective. And I'll tell you that a lot of our listeners here are not real estate agents. They're also entrepreneurs and in other businesses, perhaps consumers. So, what why is it better for a client to go through the referral process as opposed to blindly clicking on a link and being connected with someone through any, I won't mention any of the links names, but any link that shows up on their search and they click on a link and the next thing they know they're meeting an agent at the property? Why is it better to go through the referral process?
Boy, we don't have a lot of time here, but at the end of the day, quality matters, okay? And professionalism and responsiveness and tenure in a business, those things make a big difference. Real estate is a significant investment. It's where you're going to live, it's what you're going to sell. There's capital and money in your property. You want to do the best you can. If there's an area that you want to do the best you can, this is an area to make sure that you're working with the best. Now, what we've done with our application is we have built a network across the United States in every town of who we've vetted. We've talked to every broker that's in our network. We've made sure that they understand how to utilize the application to
Right.
maximize the outcome so that the originator and the client gets the best results possible. You're not taking a chance when you put a referral into the Relay platform that it's going to get to a good agent. It's going to
Right.
get to a great agent that's a full-time agent, that's dedicated, that has continuing education, that has admin support, that lives in the market, that you're getting the best agent in the market that's going to negotiate on your behalf, understands the laws, has deep relationships with contractors in the market. Should you need help with anything, they're seasoned. And it's no different than if you had a health issue and you need to have some health care. You're going to want to get to the best healthcare provider you can to have the best
Yeah.
outcomes you can. So that's what you get with the Relay platform. Conversely, going to some other option and you get somebody who's paid to get a referral or get a lead, or they're doing it part-time, or they're opening doors because that's what they do to make $100, or so many other ors and ifs. So our network has the best of the best in it, and that is going to assure a positive outcome for all people involved.
That's great. So that's exactly, so you're vetting them, your organization is vetting the agent. So when someone comes to you to buy or sell, they know they're getting a quality agent. Do I have that right?
Yeah, you do. Deidre, you know what people do nowadays? They go to Facebook. They go to these networks and go, I have a client, I have a friend, I have a family member. I know somebody that's moving to Phoenix or Des Moines, Iowa. Does anybody have a friend or an agent in that area that can work with my client? Talk
Yeah.
about blind dating and just handing a referral off to somebody that says, oh, I can take the client. And then you got 80 people raising their hand in Miami, Florida that says, oh, I
Mm,
can take the client, but you don't know anything about these people. And how
yeah.
do you track it? And how do you there's so many risks, and just to try to hand the client off when you can work with an application that all we do is make sure that that baton, that client is not dropped when it's referred from one agent to another, and that client's going to get to the best agent. Does that help answer the question?
It really does help. And so you have a couple things that I don't want to lose sight of that you said in there. So, first of all, I love the name, okay, because we talked a little bit earlier and we were talking about the name and where the name came from. And let's talk about that. How did you come up with the name? I think it's a really cool name and I want to just share that with our listeners.
Yeah, it's great. It's a play on the word relay, a relay race. When you have a runner who's running really fast, and then there's that component, that critical time where they have to pass the baton to the next runner that's also starting to run. And you have to place that baton, in our eyes, that's the client, in the next person's hand. And you don't want to drop the baton. That
Love that.
baton is so precious. And so that's where Relay came from. We don't want to drop one client. We make sure that the handoff is always smooth, the baton never gets dropped, and that you as an agent, you're going to win the race working with Relay, where you're going to take a chance if you post something on Facebook and cross your
Well
finger.
thought out name, but I really do like that. So the next thing I wanted to go back to is when a client goes through somebody that has been vetted through your organization, does it cost them money to go through you?
No, it does not. Every single user can log into our platform, go to the Relay website, register to be in our platform. Any single user can send a referral or conversely receive a referral in our platform. So it is completely free. And the best part about it, Deidre, is that we envision our application to be a complete referral application. So not only is it moving people that are looking to buy and sell from one market to another market, it's also a referral platform that can help agents connect with contractors in their market. So through our app, you can send referrals. Through our app, you can contact and connect with contractors that do, any service from carpet to painting, et cetera, et cetera. But
Mm-hmm.
we're all about referrals. So we have become, and we are now, the number one referral application in the market. And the last thing that's really important is when a referral gets handed off, it goes to one agent. It goes to one contractor. It doesn't get handed off to 3 or 4 people that are in Philadelphia or Des Moines, Iowa. And then you have a bunch of people fighting for that one client. That's a horrible experience for that client. So
Sure.
everything's one-to-one in what we do. Same thing with the contractor. If the contractor gets the referral, that one painter is the one that's going to call the client that the broker trusts, added
Right.
and put into the platform.
Right. That's great because the contractor relationships that you have are so important as well when it comes to helping your clients. So I just want to be clear on this for our listeners because as we know, so many agents pay to be on platforms where somebody clicks on the platform and then they quickly make the phone call and then they race to the property to show the property. And they pay a lot of money for those, thousands and
Yeah.
thousands a month in some cases. So I just want to be clear with your group when they're signing up with you, they're not paying, right? You're vetting these people, you're getting the best, the top agents that are really going to take care of the clients, and they're not paying a monthly fee to or a weekly fee to be on your within your organization. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's great. That's great. So let's just talk a little bit about who can use you. Is it just small brokerages that use you? Is it any agent? Can someone from a big brokerage use you? How does that work?
Yes. Anybody can work with us. That's a real estate agent, number one. But we don't just have real estate agents working with us. And when I say real estate agents and brokers, you've got a couple classes. You have the independents. We have an enormous amount of independents because we help connect them easier, maybe, than some of the larger broker firms the big names, the top 5 broker firms. Sometimes they have relocation departments, and it helps enable that client that is moving to another area, or they'll connect it with one of their franchise in a different market. So independent brokers are really our avatar. They're some of our best users, but I'm telling you, we get referrals all day long from the big name brokers as well, because their applications, they're not really easy when it comes to making a referral to Atlanta, to Miami, and then there's no tracking involved. So our application is used by everybody, not just agents now. It's being used by other adjacent vendors or markets, such as lenders. If you're a lender and you have a client that you've spent 3 months with getting pre-approved for a loan, and that lender says, hey, do you know an agent in Des Moines? Do you know an agent in Miami? Now that I've spent all this time, I'm pre-approved, I can go shop. Is there anybody that you like and know? And those lenders, those loan officers will use our platform to connect their buyer to really the best agent in that market. So a lot of referrals from loan officers. We have other adjacent vendors that also are trying to connect their clients to an agent. And then just consumers directly finding
Right.
us and saying, look, and I need an agent in Clearwater, Florida, and going to our platform and then getting connected with and the best of the best in Clearwater, Florida.
That's great. That's a really powerful platform. That's really a great piece to add to what we do here for our listeners. So let's talk a little bit about referrals and how agents and can gain financial freedom through referrals, and why we treat our clients as, it's all about the relationship, right? So when you're passing off a referral, you want to really make sure that is, you're passing them off to somebody that's they're in good hands with, right?
Yeah.
So can you expand on that a little bit, and how agents can really dig into incorporating this into part of their business and part of their retirement plan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're at that phase working backwards as part of a retirement plan. Because you might want to retire, but you have this legacy of people that have come to trust you and know you and referred to you, that's still going to call you and say, hey, Deidre,
Right.
I'm looking to buy, or I'm looking to sell, or do you know anybody? And when you get those phone calls, you might be at the point where you don't want to work with a client, put them in your car. You might want to slow down, but all you need to do is to get that client's information, where they're looking to buy or sell, and put them in the Relay platform. Deidre, it takes 15 seconds to put them in the platform, and you're done. Okay, that client's going to get handed off to a great agent, right? They're going to do the work that you used to do. And then
Right.
you're going to get your 25% referral fee when that
Right.
client gets to the closing table. That's your mailbox money. And we have agents making easily 10 grand a month passive income just from referrals, just because they've been in the space 20 years, 30 years, and now they're doing things differently. They're readjusting their priorities, and they're using the platform. Now, you brought up earlier trust. You have to make sure, everybody wants to make sure that who they refer, their friend, their family,
Mhm.
their past acquaintance to, they can trust. That's a little bit of a leap of faith that they can trust Relay. So you're going to trust somebody that you might find through going online, or you're going to trust Relay.
Right.
That's vetted the agents that's going to get the referral, and it tracks everything, and you can see everything about every referral in your dashboard when you use the Relay platform. You see who the originating agent is, their phone number, their email, anything related to that referral is all memorialized in the Relay dashboard. So the trust factor is important, and I can't underscore it enough. You want to make sure that your client's taken care of. And every agent at the end of the day, that's all they want. They want their friend, their family member to have a great experience. They'll get,
Isn't that the truth?
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Isn't that the
and
truth?
that's really one of the reasons why we started this. I started this 3 years ago because I saw how real estate agents go about finding another agent in another market. It's not that good. It's pretty messy. You're going to pick up the phone and you're going to interview somebody that maybe might call you back. You might have to call 10 people and maybe 2 will call you back. It's not pretty. And then you give them the referral and you want to get an update and they won't return your phone call. It's there's
Crazy, isn't it?
it's amazing to me how people don't respond when you want to give them a referral. And so that's why we started Relay, just to make the
That's great.
process better and make it more and more visibility and trust to it.
That's great. I love what you do. So, do you have anything else that you want to share with our listeners, but make sure that they hear?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways is when we talk to people, they automatically, unfortunately, lump us into that lead gen area. And we are not lead gen. Everything that we do is from other brokers and from other loan officers. They're qualified individuals. And so just don't think of Relay as being lead gen. Think of Relay as being an application to help hand a referral off. That you don't have, we covered already that you don't have to spend any money to use our platform. And that it's convenient. It's super convenient. From your phone, you can make a referral. You could be standing in line talking to somebody or talking to a friend or a family member, and you learn that they're relocating. Back in the day, you would listen, but as an agent, you really would not get engaged because you don't know how to find an agent in Des Moines, Iowa, or Homer, Alabama. That takes work. You don't know anybody. You can't trust anybody. You got to make a ton of phone calls. Now, with technology, you can put that referral into our platform. That client's going to have a better experience than going to an area that they don't know and trying to find their own agent. And you're going to make some mailbox money. So I think that's the big thing about what we have.
What an accomplishment. What an amazing creation. It's really built on creating that experience, and a great experience for the client and a great experience for the agent who wants to know that their client is in the best of hands. So I do really appreciate you taking the time to share all of this with us today. And I just want to go over where our listeners can find you. So if you would like to share, that would be fabulous.
Thank you, Deidre. Yeah, it's www.realay. So it's like real estate, but it's spelled differently because it's a play on the word relay. And if you type it, make sure it doesn't autocorrect it, which will happen. So it's realay.com. That's our website. You'll be able to download the app from any app store as well and get it on your smartphone. And that's where we are, and that's how to get us. We look forward to working with you and all your listeners, Deidre.
That's great. I appreciate you so much. And as always, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If this episode inspired a new path or gave you tools to grow, don't forget to share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a review. It truly helps us reach more people on their wealth building journey. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep building smarter, and remember, together we unlock possibilities. Thanks for tuning in to Pending and Trending. Remember, generational wealth doesn't happen by accident, it happens by action. If you like today's episode, share it with a friend, subscribe, and let's keep elevating your journey together.